there. I'm mainly in charge of visual design, comms design, and anything that has to do with visual design, basically. I'm an award-winning designer. My mom says I'm the best designer in the world, and I think that's enough for me. I don't need silver and gold as long as my mom thinks I'm doing well enough as a designer. The next thing you should know about me is that I'm a logo and brand identity specialist. I'm a packaging design whiz, budding brand strategy and budding brand strategist and consultant, a minimalist and a funny guy. So yeah, these are important things you should know about me, especially you are um, uh, when you meet me for the first time. So if I try and crack jokes, just know I'm a funny guy. I have 6 years experience in design, 2+ years in logo and brand identity design, meaning that I'm an OG in this thing. Uh, I'm the founder of Grace Clan Merch Store. It's a faith-based merch store. I'm the lead designer at Circle Church Global. That's my church, and I'm a John Bellion stan. So all these things are not necessarily me giving you reasons why you should listen to me, right? Because eventually, if you don't want to listen to me, you shouldn't listen to me. Like, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But for the fact that you have chosen to listen to me in today's class, I really want you to get the best out of everything I'll say. So I would really advise that you pay as much attention as you can. If you have notes, take notes. Don't wait for the slides to come out. There are certain things that I would say on this video or on this session that that would definitely transcend beyond the things that are written here. And so please just pay attention and write things down. And I hope that you get one or two things after this class. So starting about the business of design, before I start talking about anything design, the first thing I always like to address one thing when it comes to any subject on design, whether it's the business of design, whether it is the how to do design, whether it is the who to do design for. The first thing I like to address is the why design and who design, right? And so who are you, the designer? Why do you do design? What is the entire point of becoming a designer? And you must realize that design in itself is defined as is the implementation of creative thinking to solve problems. Design is the implementation of creative thinking to solve problems. I think Paul Rand says it is the process and the product of creative thinking, right? And so you must first realize that if you're a designer, you are utilizing creative thinking to do something, and that's to provide solutions, right? You provide solutions. You are not just some guy that does flyers or all these things. Eventually, there's always a problem that design solves. All right, whether it's a communication problem, whether it is attracting client, solving the problem of attracting clients, whether it's the problem of of displaying information. When I say problem, of course I don't mean it has to be like a wahala. Yeah, like it doesn't have to be something as bad as a man and his wife are fighting. We need a solution to the fight. Bring design. No, that's not what I'm talking about. As little as the problem may be, design provides solution to it, or design can be used to provide solution, right? And so you must first of all see yourself as a solution provider. Every time I talk to designers, every time I have the chance to mentor, well, not mentor per se, but to advise and to help people find their path and their foot in design, I always like to start by telling them the why. Start to help you realize who you are first as a designer. And before anything, mindset matters the most. The last class I had with the guys at Ideas, we spoke about, we were supposed to do we did a logo design teaching class, a class where I taught them how to design logos. And just before I even started, I spent an entire session teaching them about the mindset you should have as a designer. As a designer, you must first of all see yourself as more than just a guy that is moving the mouse, more than just a pixel pusher. You utilize design to solve problems. And speaking about it now in the context of building a business, you're simply helping business people or helping people solve their business problems using design, right? Design in itself is not the solution, but design is utilized to give solution or to bring solution. So you are a solution provider. You're someone who solves problems. You're not just a pixel pusher. You're not just someone who moves a mouse. You're not just someone who has a MacBook or a HP Elite's book or whatever is that, you are first of all a solution provider. And the moment you start to see yourself like that, it becomes easier to build from there, to build other mindsets from there, to build your business from there, to build other people's businesses from there, right? Because you have identified that whatever client comes to me or whoever is coming to me, they are coming to me not because they want good work or not even because they want design, but because they want a solution that I am going to use design to solve. I hope that makes sense to everyone. You are using design to provide solutions, right? And so knowing that, the first thing you should know is that people pay for what they value, right? People value solutions. So what do? You give solutions. You give solutions. And just like I put in from us, like design is a means of providing solution. What we do is we utilize design to solve business problems. And when we recognize that, it's easy to build from there. So let me paint a scenario to you, right? Imagine if you guys, somebody's COVID, for example, the whole COVID situation, right? You come around and you find out that, oh, I have COVID-19. Jesus Christ, what's going to happen? I have COVID. And let's imagine you have money. You are someone, or yeah, you are someone that has money. And you find out you have COVID-19. You now find out that COVID-19, the only cure for COVID-19 is paracetamol. But paracetamol costs 50,000 naira in the market. Because you value not only your life, but you also value a solution to a problem you have, you will be willing to pay for that solution. That's literally how the concept of business works. People paying for stuff they value, people paying for stuff that they want, stuff that they desire. And so the reason why you pay for jollof rice, the reason why you buy jollof rice when you're hungry is because at that point, jollof rice is bringing a solution to a problem that you have, which is hunger, right? How much then you will pay for jollof rice is just determined by how much you value jollof rice, or how much value you place on jollof rice in itself. Or let me not even say jollof rice, let's say food, right? So the reason why you pay for food is because at that point you value food, you value the solution is bringing to you, which is satisfaction to the hunger. The problem here is hunger. The solution is food. Or what is bringing the solution? The solution to hunger is satisfaction, right? And what is bringing that satisfaction is what? Food. So you are willing to pay for food because you want to solve this problem, right? And it will take someone who clearly does not value food, that will decide that he wants to, or that does not place any value on food, that will decide that to get that solution, which is what's the word, satisfaction of the hunger, he will decide, you know what, I'm just going to take a stone, I'm going to eat a stone to satisfy. Why? Because he doesn't place that much value on food, and he has decided that his resources, or whatever resources he has, it's not going to be enough, or he's not going to release his resources to pay for that solution. I hope what I'm saying makes sense so far. So people pay for value, and people value solutions. So we see here, based on my former point, or the last point I gave, that once you start to see yourself as a solution provider, anyone who comes to you, you start to look at them with the mindset of, this person is coming to pay for value, or this person needs value, or this person wants a solution, and this person has value for that solution that they want. And so I should be able to utilize design to give them a solution, or to give them to solve their problems, right? And whatever I charge should be a reflection of what they value, or how much they value the solution I'm giving to them. All right. So it then means that you must carry one mindset, and that mindset is that you need to stop selling and you need to start serving. Let me explain what I mean. Problems are unique. Since problems are unique, therefore solutions are unique. You can't solve each problem with the same solution. So each client requires service, not sales. Let me pull down slides just for a minute and and pull down slides and go back to you guys seeing my face for a minute. All right. So I want to make this just a little bit interactive, right? Can I have Emmanuel, Aniete, and Deji David, please unmute yourselves. I just want to ask you guys questions. They are not unmuting themselves. Hi, Emmanuel. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, Bethel, please unmute yourself as well. I want to ask a question. So imagine you have 10 people and you want to fry egg for the 10 of them. All right, Emmanuel, can you hear me? And it's a very weird example. You want to
Yeah.
fry egg for 10 people. Um, can you tell me how would you just walk me down your process? You don't have egg in your house, and walk me down your process of getting the egg, frying egg for 10 people.
Well, first of all, the steps that are taking them, right? So let's just can you
What?
hear me?
You're
Yeah,
sounding
sorry, the
quite
So
egg,
let's
echoey.
it sounded a bit far.
Yeah,
okay. I said. Can you hear me better now?
a little
Yes.
bit.
Okay. Let me say one thing real quick. The end goal of this you frying egg, you must make sure that everybody is satisfied. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm listening. So walk me down your process.
Well, first of all, you ask them like how many they will take, how many will satisfy them at first, like how
Awesome.
many each person can take. Then when you get those figures, then you can go out. If you don't have eggs in the house, you can go out, you get eggs, you come back.
Mm-hmm.
When you get fry the eggs for them, and then you serve it to them.
Great. Great. That's awesome. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Bethel,
Yeah.
if give me an entirely different process from what Emmanuel said. If you were going to feed 10 people eggs, what would you like? Just walk me down your process from start to finish.
Okay. First of all, I think I'll first ask each of them how many eggs they can finish, because some people
Right.
can eat 2 eggs and that's what can satisfy them. So from there, I get a an assumption of how many eggs I'll have to buy for those
Mm-hmm.
10 people. So I go to the supermarket, get the amount of eggs. Let's say 15 eggs for 10 people. Yeah.
Mm.
Then after frying it and everything, I cut it according to the ration of how I assume. So there's a size for 1 egg and there's a size for two
Yeah.
eggs. So
For 2 eggs.
exactly. So I have to serve it according to the people that said, okay, I can finish only 1 egg, and for the people that can finish 2 eggs. So the 2 eggs people get a larger portion than the people that have 1 egg. So that's what I'll
Okay.
do.
Okay, awesome. So there's something thank you guys for answering that question
Okay,
because I
somebody
realized
in
both
the
of you.
comments
Can I
section also
say
wants to.
something?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, hi Precious. You want to say something?
And Ayomide also.
Yes.
Okay, now
Yes,
everybody.
please. Yes.
Okay. Yes, I agree
Hello.
with Bethel and
Yes. Hold
Emmanuel.
on,
Who
hold on,
earlier
Ayomide. Continue, Precious, please. Please continue, Precious.
Okay, I agree with Bethel and Emmanuel, who earlier said they're going to find out how many numbers they will eat.
Yeah.
Okay, but what I would do differently, apart from all the things they do, the processes they followed, I would do the same thing. But I would also ask them, like, do you like your egg? Like, do you like a lot of tomatoes, vegetables in your egg, or you just
Right.
want like a
Green
different
eggs.
egg, just one onion,
Yeah.
yes, in the
Mm-hmm.
egg. So, do you like a lot of pepper in your egg, or you're not a pepper person? So, if the indication was okay, they want to eat egg, they didn't indicate that they don't they whether the egg is going to be fried or boiled or cooked, omelette,
Oh,
different types of ways.
chef.
Hey, thank you, Precious. Thank you, Precious. I think that's very detailed. Thank you so much. Ayomide, you
Okay.
wanted to say something?
Yes, I think Precious just explained what I was trying to say already. Because you have to find a common ground for the people you are frying egg for. I think
Mm.
that's just the end goal because some of them like their egg peppery, some of them like it plain, some of them like it scrambled. So the people you are frying egg for are like your users, and then
Mm.
finding a common ground for them because there are people with so many different will I say backgrounds or
Yeah.
styles. So finding a common ground is what really matters. And
Okay.
then
Voila for who
Awesome.
no sabi cook.
So I especially love the angle and the direction that Ayomide and Precious have taken it from because you realize that the one thing they have in mind is how different people have different preferences. The end goal might seem the same, which is, oh, you want to get everybody satisfied, but you will realize that the map or the channel to get to everybody's problem is different, right? So for some people, they don't like eating eggs that is scrambled. Some just want you to take the egg, throw it inside fry pan, leave it like that, and bring it out. Some people want sunny side up. That's one that you bust the all those cultists that they like to eat watery egg. You know, you have to be a cultist to eat stuff like that. You know, different people have different maps to get to. chef, right? And here's another thing I wanted to point out. So imagine if it was rice were to cook for these same people. You realize that that process is not going to be the same for them as well, because you're not going to ask everybody how many grains of rice can you eat. I don't know if that makes sense. For everybody, you are simply just going to make assumptions, or you're going to make calculated what's the word? Calculated measurements of rice. If it was yam you're going to cook, you may or may not ask everybody how many slices are you going to eat. What I'm trying to pull out here is that based on different situations, Precious, your camera is on. Right. So based on different people's the uniqueness of everybody's either taste or everybody's situation, you are going to apply a different solution. That is simply how you should start seeing yourself when addressing clients, right? You need to stop selling and start serving. Meaning, treat every client as unique as possible. And there's a reason why I'm talking about this, because we're basically talking about business, the business of design. And for you to, before we start getting to price and getting to money, because I know some of you're already watching, you're already drooling, like, when are we going to start talking about the 100K and the 500K and the 1 million K cultists, right? So before we start getting to that, you need to understand both the ethics and the logic behind business, right? And so every client that comes needs to be served differently. So if you're a UI designer here, you don't self-medicate, or you don't just recommend. So as a doctor, somebody comes to you and they say, oh, they have headache. You give the person paracetamol. Somebody else that comes to you and says, I have headache, if you give them paracetamol, you just might be killing that person, because the headache might be a symptom of something even more deadly, right? So I think people who have fevers, they also experience headaches as well. So imagine if all you give is paracetamol simply because that's what you gave the last person. That is simply what selling looks like. Somebody comes to you and says, oh, I need a website. And you're like, oh, these are the packages we have. Oh no, you're like, oh, you need a website. This is what I have. I will give you three options UI designs with leg, this, and with this, with framework. You are selling. And the problem with selling for the client is that you are not solving problems anymore. You are simply selling. So your business is no longer solution-minded. It's simply profit-minded. You're just looking to sell stuff. You're just looking to sell bag of rice. You're just looking to sell paracetamol. All right. But when you start thinking about things from a solution standpoint, you realize that each problem that comes your way is unique, and you have to solve them uniquely. That is where business starts, because you start to diagnose. Just like you said, you start to ask questions of how do you like your eggs, and how do you do that? And when this is where we now start talking about money. When you realize that there is uniqueness of each problem and the uniqueness of each solution,
because many of you would have just
charging money becomes easier, or it becomes not easier, it's a broader topic, because you are no longer charging the same thing for everybody, right? You are now attaching value or attaching a price to the solution you are providing, and this thing is very much influenced by the amount of value that your client puts on the solution they're about to get. I'll explain what I mean better as we go on. But simply just running over what I just said.
One step at a time.
The more you start to look at design from a solution, a providing solution angle, right? You no longer attach a single price to everything. That's like selling. So it's not, oh, one pack of Indomie is 15 naira. No, it now becomes, do you want, your end goal is this. While we are diagnosing, and I'm like, oh, this is actually your problem. This is what will solve your problem. Using design, this is how your problem will be solved. You can now start to see your clients' problems, you start to see solutions, and you start to see ways that design can, in some way, solve these problems. When your client starts to see that the value, you can gauge whether the client really values the solution that they came for, like a solution to the problem they came with. And with that, it becomes easier to price. Let's go on. So I'll show you. Let me go back to my slides so you understand what I mean much better. Okay. So I said stop selling, start serving, because problems are unique. Therefore, solutions are unique. You can't solve each problem with the same solution. So each client requires service and not sale. And so you realize that you are now moving from a place of selling to value-based services. That is what design becomes. It becomes a value-based service. Oh, I'm giving you this service of design because I'm about to solve a problem that I'm about to give you a solution that you value, right? And so this is the price for this value you're getting. This is what it will cost for you to invest in getting this value. That's vocabulary that you start to use with your clients. Let me move on. So when it comes to serving your clients, you realize that there is no right price. There is just a fair price. See why I said my slides are badly designed? I should have completed this thing. I didn't complete it. I wrote there's just a fair. I'm so sorry, guys. So it's supposed to be there is no right price. There is just a fair price. Let me come back to where you guys can see my face. All right. So there is no right price in the sense that there is no fixed price. Let me put it that way. There is no, for me to offer you branding services that will solve the problem of, of customer loyalty, of brand recognition and all that. This is what it will cost X amount. No, I'm diagnosing your problem and telling you that based on this problem, this is a fair enough amount. This is a fair amount to provide you solution to this problem. I've forgotten his name. I think it's Jim Rowe. He said something about I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Jim Rowe. He said something about don't spend small effort for big results, and don't spend big effort for small results. So let's put it this way: somebody comes to you, or you go to an investment company, and they tell you that, just invest 100 naira, and you will get 1 million naira in 7 days. How many of you will invest in that thing? Like, you will believe it's legit. Somebody will come and say 100 naira to get 1 million naira. Nobody's commenting. You guys tell me in the chat section, would you invest 100 naira for 1 million naira in 7 days? Exactly. Like, it doesn't even make sense in the logical sense of 100 naira for 1 million naira. It doesn't make sense logically. From a business standpoint, it also doesn't make sense to put in 100 naira to get 1 million naira, right? So you start to see that you, as the client or the investor, for you to get high returns, you need to invest high as well. So would you, if that doesn't make sense, would you invest 900,000 naira to get 1 million in a year? Does that sound like a fair enough representation of what investment would look like? 900,000 naira to get 1 million in, let's say, 6 months to 1 year. Exactly, that's a 10%. I think that's 10% increase. I'm not sure. I don't know maths very well, but exactly, sounds very feasible, right? So this is how your clients should start seeing things. This is how your clients should be seeing things, or this is how clients that you work with should value design, right? Because design solves a problem. Design can, in some way, increase business revenue. It can increase sales. It can increase profit. And so if your client sees that, or if you make your client see that, this solution I'm providing can increase your sales from 100,000 naira a month to 200,000 naira a month, your client should be willing to invest more than that 100,000 naira a month to be able to get that 200,000 naira a month. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm talking about, value-based pricing here, because you start to see that your price is based off value that you are offering to your clients.
Gets home that,
Does that make sense? Everybody's saying, oh, it sounds more convincing.
Once we do
Let me go
this
back to my slides.
and have decided we've seen enough of everything, that is the equivalent. I'm done. I've seen enough of life.
Okay, so I'm presenting now. So it shows you now that there is no fixed price. So if brand design can solve a problem for a client, and rather than it helps them gain customer loyalty, it helps them retain old clients, it helps them stand out in the market against their competitors and all that, and this thing can increase their revenue by 2 times. It means that it won't be fair for you to charge, let's say just a figure off my head, 500 naira for all your clients, because you're offering them value, right? You're offering value to them, something that can change how their business operates, something that increase their sales and all that. There is no right price. There's no fixed price. There's a fair price that says, oh, for this value I'm giving you, this price is fair enough. Okay? So let's start talking about numbers. So how then can you start figuring out a number for how to charge design? What is the base price? What should I start with? Let me quickly check the comment section if anybody is saying anything that I missed so far. Okay, going back to this. So in determining how much you should charge, like I said before, there is no fixed price or there is no exact price you should charge. But in determining how much you should charge, these are the things that will influence your price: your clients, your skill sets, the scope of the project, and the project fit. So let me start with the project fit. The project fit is you first of all determine, is this project good for me? Does this project look like something that it works with me? So if you're a UI designer and somebody comes and says they want to be doing flyers, you need to first start asking yourself, is this project a fit for me? Is this something that I can do? Is it something I'm willing to do? And if not, it's something that you should probably just throw away. Don't even bother thinking about the price. All right. So throw it away. Or refer the client to someone else. All right. So let's now talk about the client. Now, remember I said to you that you are offering value, you're offering solutions, but it also depends on how much your client values the solution you are giving to them. That is simply where the sweet spot is, or the middle spot is, between how much the solution I'm offering is worth and how much my client values it. All right. So your client determines how much you charge. So a small business, let's say there's a lady, her name is Kende's Wigs, or Wigs by Kende, or Lashes by Kenny's Lashes. All those funny brand names. A small business, she comes in and she says, oh, hi Bethel, I need to do branding for my business. I need this. And after diagnosing and talking with her, you find out that the business problem she's trying to solve is she wants to raise brand awareness, she wants to raise brand recognition, she wants to have aesthetic and good looking product packaging, she wants to stand out, she wants to also do some form of campaign. And that's Kenny's Lashes. And then also Stanbic IBTC comes to you, Bethel, and they say, oh, I want to rebrand, I want to fix up, I want to do this, we want to do this, want to stand out against our competitors, want to have new packaging for our ATM cards, want to have new packaging for our pension boxes, want to do new designs for our t-shirts and all that. Now you realize that both businesses have, or both clients have, the same problems that you are trying to solve. Sorry, I'm checking the comment section. Well, how can you not scare them away? Okay, we'll get to that soon, right? So both clients come and they say, oh, they have these business problems that they want to solve, and you've diagnosed and seen, oh, these are the things you need, right? First of all, your clients determines, or your clients will influence the price. So Stanbic Bank will clearly value this thing much more than Kenny would. And this is not just something you figure, you say off. What's the word I'm talking about? I'm looking for. You don't just determine this just based off. Oh, Kenny is a startup. She won't really evaluate it. No, just from your interaction with your clients, you can tell that this person values design and this person doesn't. This person values the solution I'm providing over this person. And so Stanbic Bank will clearly value this more because they have a wide customer base that they are trying to retain and to keep loyalty from, or to have loyalty from. Stanbic Bank, they have a lot of competitors, and it's a very competitive market they are in. They're trying to stand out more. And so what you would charge Kenny's lashes will be clearly more, or will not be the same thing you would charge what's their name, Stanbic IBTC Bank. You know what? I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Like Stanbic IBTC has more value for the solution you are providing, or the solution you are providing to them has more value to them than it would to Kenny's lashes. And so your client determines that. The next thing is your skill set or your expertise. I like to say your expertise because it involves not only the things that you can do, but the things that you know, the things that you can offer, and the things that you bring to the table. So if as a designer, I also have motion design under my hand, and I also know how to do packaging design. I also know how to do, UI design as well. I mean, these things will definitely influence the price because I'm offering more solutions. I'm offering more things that will be of value to my clients. And so these things will affect my price. All right. The next thing will be project scope. So, when you are with your clients and you've determined, oh, this is the scope of the project, this is what I'm going to work with, these are the things I'm going to give you. I'm giving you custom icons, custom packaging, custom this. All these things will influence your price. All these things will influence how much you will charge per project. Let me switch back to the to where you guys can see my face again, because I need to talk about something real quick. So based on everything I've told you guys about value-based pricing and solution, how you are offering solution and all that, the first thing I think I want to say to everybody is that you should learn to adopt a per project pricing. What do I mean? Charge based on the project. Charge based on each project. Don't have a fixed price and sell that across everybody, because just like I've said to you so far, there are things that affect, or there are things that determine your price. Okay, and some of those things are your clients. So imagine if you have a fixed price, you're like, oh, I charge 10,000 naira for a logo. It means that if Stanbic IBTC comes to you, you are telling them you will charge 10,000 naira. And a lot of these clients, they look at the value that you even place on your work, and that determines whether they work with you or not. So Islamic Bank comes to you and they say, and they would try to judge the quality of your work based off the value you place on it as well. So Islamic Bank comes to you, they say, oh, we want to solve this business problem and we need a brand identity for this. And then you tell them 10,000 naira. They will believe that 10,000 naira is going to mean substandard work. Precious, I'll get to that question when we get to the question and answer session. I believe we're almost there because I don't have too many slides to show you, so we're almost at the end of or we will soon get to where you can ask your questions, right? So back to what I was saying, you have to adopt a per project pricing, because a lot of these clients will also judge the quality of your work based off the value that you yourself place on it. Right. I hope that that makes sense too. Hold on. Okay, great. So let me go back to my slides. So figuring out a price based off these things: the client, your skill sets, project scope, and the project fit. So let me tell you guys a quick story about a client that I worked with. My cousin had come to me in 2019, and he was telling me about this client who They needed a new brand identity. They needed brand guidelines. They needed, a lot of things for their new identity. And as at then, I think this was early 2019, I was still charging about 10K, 20K for a logo, for logo design. And my cousin came to me and he said, these guys are huge in the music distribution space. And, like, how much do I charge? Me and my cousin said that. I started to, outline, because I've always been good with design since then, but I wasn't just good with pricing. And so I went and I sat down, I started writing down all the things they said they want. And I wrote down, they want brand guidelines, they want custom stuff for their t-shirts, for their apparel, they want social media covers, they want all these things. And in listing these things based off my initial price, I came down to a price of like 40K, 50K. And I was like, but these guys are huge, these guys are big. And this was not me being greedy, right? But this was me realizing that these guys they value their work, which is one thing I'm going to talk about, right? There's a difference between when you are recognizing or identifying value. There's a difference between that and when you're just being greedy. But we will get to that towards the end of this whole thing. So I started to realize that with the design that I'm going to give to them, with all these things, these are the problems they're going to solve. They're going to have apparel. They're going to have a new brand identity. They're going to have apparel designs that they are going to sell. And so they are building some form of awareness through these things. And so I came up with a price of, 250,000 naira. And I sent it to I came up with 200,000 naira. And then I told it to my cousin. And my cousin was like, okay, 200,000 naira, that's good. He now told me, he said, okay, do it for 250,000 naira. And I was like, aren't you supposed to be beating the price down? And then my cousin told me, he said to me, that this kind of project, this kind of clients, that they want really good work, they want quality work. And if you're going to give them quality work, your price needs to reflect the fact that you're giving them quality work. And my cousin, he trusted the quality of the work I was going to give them. And so he told me to charge 250,000 naira, and I charged them 250,000 naira. And at the end of the project was so good and so big that I started to feel like I could have even charged more. Why? Because utilizing these things, I saw that the client valued the work. My skill set aligned with the things that it aligned with the price that I was going to give. The project scope, that's the things they required for the work. It was something that I had enough to, what I was going to deliver, that's the deliverables, project scope, was within what I could give, and it was within the price, that I gave to them. And it was a perfect fit for me as at 2019, of course. And so that price felt really good. It felt good. And I forgot to even add one more thing. It has to also be a price that you are comfortable with. Like I said in the previous slide, there is no right price. So it just has to be a price that you are comfortable with, as long as you're not being greedy. So somebody says they want just a logo. And with your current skill set and with the clients, you know that they can't afford 3 million naira. Kenny's lashes cannot afford 3 million naira. So don't give her 3 million naira. And if 3 million naira is what you charge as a designer, is what you want, then don't work with people like Kenny's lashes. All right, we'll get to that part as well. So going over this again, the things that influence the price you charge are your client, your skill set, the project scope, and project fit. All right. So when we start talking about increasing your prices, how do I increase my price? How do I go from charging 50K to 250K to 500,000 naira and all that? The bold step of increasing your price is one that chokes a lot of designers. The how and the when, especially. So, how do I increase my price and when do I increase my price? And following from a friend of mine, he's a great brand identity designer. His name is Fiyin. He gives 2 core ways that you can do this. That you either increase your skill set or you change your circle of clients. All right. So one way that you can increase your price, like I said before, when it comes to skill set, I prefer to use the word expertise, right? And when I talk about your expertise, I'm talking about both the things that you do and the things that you know. Okay, the things that you do, things that you know, your process, everything about your business, right? You are increasing that. So let me tell you, before I worked with that client that I charged 250K, I used to use just a memorandum of what's the word? Memorandum of operations. I think that's what it was called. So it was simply a small agreement between me and the client saying, "Oh, I'm the one doing your work, and you are paying me for the work." But starting to see that I was going to work with the bigger clients, I had to evolve a lot of things in my process. So I had to get a contract, a proper contract done. I had to get a proper invoice done. I had to evolve that process. I had to learn more, just a little bit more about design, although about doing design for that kind of space or for that kind of client, because they were new to me. They were the music distribution service. They were a music distribution service company. And so I had to learn a little bit more about how to do design for them. And so with all these things, I started increasing my expertise, my knowledge base, and even my research process, because I had to refine the way I researched and all that, and even my process. And because of that, I had things that could justify why I was charging more or when I could charge more, because as I was evolving, I started to see I'm no longer that person who was, just using a small agreement for work. I was starting to use. Okay, let me quickly go to the chat section real quick. Okay, we'll get to all the questions later. So I was starting to, to evolve my process and evolve my deliverables and the things that I could offer. Basically, evolve the solution or evolve the process to solution. And because of that, value increased, right? So if you want to increase your prices, these are things that you should consider. Do I need to increase my price? Do I need to do all these things? Do I need to increase my skill sets? Do I need to increase the number of things that I can offer to my clients? Do I need to increase how I offer these things to my clients? Do I need to do better with my research process? Do I need to do better with my documentation process? When I increase all these things, I start to give a refined value to my solution, right? To the solution that I'm offering. There becomes a refined thinking behind it, a refined presentation of it. And so there should be refined price of how much I charge. Okay. Next thing is change your circle of clients. So what if you have all these things? You have everything done. You've refined your process. You have an exquisite process. You have, an exquisite knowledge base. You are good with design. You know how to offer, really, 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 like, you can offer awesome solutions. What's the next thing to do? Change your circle of clients. So stop working with people who the value they place on design is 10K, 20K. Start working with people who are valuing what your work is really worth. Start working with people that charge that value design 250K, that place 500K value on design, a million, 2 million, 3 million, right? Because let me tell you that after I worked with that client of 250K, my life changed. I stopped collecting 10K jobs. I stopped collecting 15K. I started collecting 20K. I started working with, the 100Ks. And, while I did not start, immediately start charging 250K for everybody else that came, I started looking for, locating 100K clients, started doing all those kind of things, changing my circle of clients, because I've started working with people who place higher value on what I offer. And so because of that, I need to work with more of them. All right. So these are the two ways you can increase your price or start increasing your price. All right. So let's start talking about how then should you be gaining clients. So I like to tell people that clients get me. I don't get clients. Clients get me. For this to happen, I need to know where my clients are. I need to know who they are and strategically be in places where they will find me and see me. I need to be positioned and perceived as someone that they want, or someone with what they want. So I need to know my clients and I need to be what my client wants. Let me switch back to where you guys can see my face again. I hope so far you guys are learning something.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Were you guys seeing my slides before? Did I stop sharing slides since? Bessa, what was the last slide?
You stopped sharing since.
Jesus. And nobody could tell me.
We thought you were talking now.
No, oh my god. Let me go back to the slides then. So did you guys see this part?
Mm, come in. Yes, we did. This is where we were
Yeah,
talking
we saw that
about
part.
the lashes and eyes, Stanbic
Yeah, did
IBTC.
you guys see this?
No, we didn't see this.
No, no.
Okay, okay. Now you can see this is the slide that talks about. I think Betcha is going to send slides to you after. I think I'm not sure. Hopefully she does. If she doesn't, you watch the video later. So this is for increasing your price, and then this is how you should be gaining clients, right? So I was saying, let me go back to where you can see my face. I'm really sorry. I thought you guys were seeing. So great. Let me come back here. So I said, how should you be gaining clients? You should be where you should position yourself strategically. You should first know your clients, then position yourself strategically where they can see you and where they can hear you, right? And in doing that, you also need to position yourself to be perceived as someone or as someone who has what they want or someone who is what they want. So I'm just going to talk freely at this point about some other, how you can do that. So things like having your website, things like being on social media, things like finding platforms where you can connect to them, things like LinkedIn, places like Instagram. Instagram is doing anyhow these days, but you know, right. So these are things that you can do to strategically position yourself where your clients are. So take for instance, let me give you an instance. You want to work with clients or with customers or clients here in the tech space, right? You want to be a brand identity designer, or you let's say, let me even talk about UI designers. I'm not much like I don't know much about UI. That's the reason why I've been using brand designer as my examples a lot. So let's say you want to work with clients in the tech space, right? The first thing you do, and this is why it's business, because you have to be intentional about it. Sorry. You have to be intentional about it. It's business. If you don't intentionally grow your business, you will unintentionally allow your business to dwindle. And so you have to intentionally look for your clients. Identify your clients. Who are the people that I want to work with? Who are the clients that need my services, that need to see me? When you have these people, when you maybe listed them out, or identify them, the next thing you should start thinking about is, where are they? Where can I find them? Or where can they find me? So tech people or tech companies are very active on places like Twitter, on places like LinkedIn, on I don't know the other places where they are, but you're like, I want to work with these guys. So you need to start strategically planning, how can you be visible to them? Where can I be? Some of the clients that I've always wanted to work with have been tech and food, right? And I know tech and food are very active people on Twitter. And so I went to Twitter and I was, I think Bethel was even the one who forced me to be on Twitter, because I never really liked Twitter before. But I joined Twitter and, I started tweeting stuff. I started being more visible to my ideal clients. And last year, I had two clients, one in the tech, I had two clients, one in each. Like, it's not like I had only two clients last year, but I had one client in the food space and one client in the tech space. And these people were people who could afford my rates, right? Of course, I got inquiries from people who couldn't afford what I charge, but I was tailoring myself and my services and my brand and who I am to be something that they want to have. So one of the clients I worked with is a food business. He's based in the U.S., Texas, in the U.S. And simply from how I was tailoring perception of myself and of my brand, I appeared as someone that this guy wanted to work with, and he was so sure. And my work was testimony of it, which is one thing that I said earlier. You have to. One thing that influences your price is your skill set. All right. And if your work is not that good, truth be told is you can't be charging wicked prices. You can't be charging wicked prices. You are a wicked person. Someone that you don't know how to properly design layouts. You want to start charging 1 million. That's wickedness. It's wickedness. All right. Don't be that. Don't be that designer who is so money minded. You forget the fact that you're supposed to be offering solutions. You're supposed to be proposing solutions to people. And so the way to get clients is to know your clients, know who they are, know where they are, be where they are. Have your website, tailor it, tailor your website to be one that attracts those kind of clients you want to work with. All right. And the next thing is tailor yourself, your brand, your person, your work. Tailor it to be what they want to work with, or let it be obvious and evident. Let it be evident to them, to your clients, that you are that kind of person that they want to work with. Don't run at your clients and tell your clients that you are the clients I want to work with. No, let your clients see you and be the person and see you as the person they want to work with, right? One thing that I know worked for me in 2019 and 2020 was the kind of work that I was doing was not what you would typically see in Nigeria. I do brand. That's one thing I can post off anywhere. I will design a brand identity that will transcend. It will go beyond the looks and feel of this country. I will not design for you a brand that looks like a Nigerian brand, except that's what you want. Do you understand? And that attracted me a lot of foreign clients. The platforms where I was working on Instagram, on Dribble, and on Behance. And I started working a little bit on LinkedIn. But see, you have to be a witch to understand LinkedIn. LinkedIn is for witches alone. All right, but I'm not getting into that. Those things that I did, they took me from a place of local designer or some guy in his room to a designer that can work on global standards, a designer that can work with foreign brands, foreign clients, and all that. Simply because that was how I tailored myself. I identified my clients. I want to work with foreign guys. I want to work with people in different countries. Even the clients that I work with now, many of the clients that I work with on my own, they are clients that are outside the Nigerian scene. I do have a couple of Nigerian folks as well that I work with, because part of the way they perceive my brand is, oh, this guy does good work that is international standard. We want our brand to look beyond Nigeria. So a Nigerian brand will come to me and say, oh, we want you to do our brand identity for us. Simply because that's what they want. They've identified. Let me check my handle. It's on the slides. On the slide, you see when the slide gets to you, right? And so, identify your clients, know who they are, know where they are, position yourself there for them to see you, and tailor yourself to be someone who they want. Whether it's by the quality of your work, by your brand tone, your brand voice, the way you speak, the things you put out, and just those things. Tailor those parts of your brand and of your business to work with your ideal client, the kind of clients you want, the kind of client that places value on the kind of work that you do. All right, so let me go back to my slides, and let me talk about the last lap of this, and that is, you need to grow your business. All right, your process, your results, and your finance should grow and evolve with each new project. Become a person who isn't satisfied with success. Stay hungry and driven to grow. So a problem that I've had with a lot of designers is, a lot of designers want to make money, but they don't want to grow in making money. They don't want to scale how they make money. They don't want to do business things. There's something that and permit me to say, there's something that my pastor says, and sorry, hold on, I need to quit presenting. All right, so my pastor says he paraphrasing. He talks about how a lot of people say they want to start a business, or God told them to do a business, but every other part of the business is not in place. Like, they don't have everything else in place. All they just have is the idea of, I want to start a business. And so you don't have things like records, checking how much you're making, how much you're spending. You don't have savings. You don't have what other things? Marketing structure in place. You don't have, you don't have a brand in place. You just want to start a business, right? And that's the problem with a lot of designers. You want to do business. You want to understand business of design without actually having your business in place properly. So some of you don't even have contracts. Some of you don't have proposals. Some of you don't have pitch decks. Some of you don't have your own brand done. You don't have personal branding done. And you're just waking up. How can I make more money? It's wrong. You can't make more money if you do not build in place the structures that will help you grow money, right? And so, in charging and making more money, you make 1 million, you charge a client 1 million naira, right? And great. The problem is if you do not have a means to grow that business, that 1 million naira will finish in, let's say, 3-4 months. And you will now get to a point where you're still looking for 1 million naira again. And that's the problem. That becomes a problem. To have a mindset of providing solution, you need to ensure that there are processes and structures in place, things that can evolve and scale as your business grows. That way, you are not only making money, but you are growing money. So if I make 1 million naira today, I need to set aside a budget for learning and development. So if I make 1 million naira today, I need to set money aside to learn stuff, domestica courses, or Skillshare courses and all that. I need to set money aside that I'm just putting in for marketing. So if I'm going to be doing sponsored posts, if possible, if I'm going to need to pay for a Dribble Pro account, if I'm going to need to pay for LinkedIn LinkedIn Pro or Premium, you understand? If I'm going to need to do all these things, I need to set a budget aside for things like this. Other parts of the business, if I'm going to spend money on outsourcing as well, right? So a client comes in and I can literally give them everything they want except logo animation. And I know a guy that can do it. I need to start budgeting how much, if I'm going to outsource work, how much am I going to give to this person? How much is my monthly profit? How much am I keeping just for the business growth? How much am I even going to keep to register my business eventually, right? For some of you, some of you have the idea of growing from just being a personal freelance designer to growing into an agency eventually. You need to start planning for these things, right? Some of you will need to change your equipment eventually. I've been working for 2 years. I've been making good money, and in making this good money, I'm starting to do more work, and that means I need to change my equipment. I need to change my table. I need to change my laptop. I need to change my monitor. How am I going to do it? It was I think it was in 2018, where I had used one laptop for 4 years. I wish I could go and get the laptop for you guys. I used one laptop for about 4 years, and I was doing pretty well with it because I started designing in 2015. So I was using the same laptop to design 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. It was in 2019 I changed this laptop, and I was like, I'm making good enough money now. I should change this laptop because my laptop was still hanging, it was still slow. It was giving me so much wahala. And I was like, you know what? It won't make sense for me to continue using this laptop. Not only because I need a fancier laptop, but because for me to effectively make more money, I need to put a structure in place that will help me grow money. So with a new laptop, I can handle more work. I can handle bigger work. I can handle better work. So I started saving up. And when I hit, it was when I hit that client of 250,000 naira that I was like, you know what, I can finally change my laptop. So I changed my laptop. What did I buy? I bought a new laptop bag. I bought new mouse. I just bought new stuff for this whole thing. I was like, see, this design thing, we die here, right? Because I need to grow my business. Right now, I'm thinking about changing my laptop again. I've changed my table recently. I'm thinking about changing my monitor because I need to make my workflow more effective. And in doing this, I'm growing my business. All right, I've spent money on buying templates, on buying, paying for premium accounts, because in doing these things, I have budgets for them. Maybe not monthly budgets, but like maybe quarterly or half of the year. I have budgets for these things. And in doing these things, I'm in turn, I'm setting up structures that will definitely increase my business with time. All right, so you, as a designer who is Ethan Washington is advertising himself, right? So in doing these things, you are growing your business. You need to start having a mindset of, I'm not just some guy sitting behind a laptop. I'm not just some lady sitting behind a laptop. I'm running an actual business here. And if I'm starting to charge this amount, or if I even want to start charging this amount, I need to make sure that the quality of the solution I'm providing, right, is clean, it is good, it is top notch. And for me to do that, my business must reflect top notch qualities as well. And so I need to grow my business. In growing my business, I'm growing my value. In growing my value, I'm growing my worth. All right. I'm growing how much I can charge. In growing that, I'm growing my client base. I'm growing how much I can charge my clients. When my clients start paying, I'm growing my account. In growing my account, I will take money and grow my business again. I continue this cycle till the end of time. All right. So it's important that you have this at the back of your mind. You are you are not just a freelancer. You are a business person. You are you are a business person. You are a creative entrepreneur, or just you are a creative business person, right? So with all this, okay, let me give some final thoughts before we go into questions. In all these things, like I said earlier, there's no fixed price. There's no this is how much you should charge, but you should you should configure your mind to a place where you realize that um, I'm offering value, and what I'm offering is valuable to someone, and so I can't afford to charge less than what is worth. All right, some of you might need to go and figure out what's the industry standard for these things. Well, eventually there's no industry standard. There's no, oh, this is how much you should charge for logo. This is how much you should charge for this. But let me give a price just so you know, to to charge some of you, or to catalyze some of you to charging more for your work. When you do good work, you do decent work, start charging more than what you used to charge for. I don't want to give a figure, because for some of you are still beginning, and I can't say this is what you should start charging, because eventually when you stop having clients who know that you're trying to scam them, you say it's me. So please, no. Um, Start charging more than you used to. Start growing your skills first. Start increasing your skill set, grow your client base, grow your capabilities and your capacity. And in doing these things, start charging more. Place high value on design that you do. You are solving problems. You're solving business problems. You're solving communication problems. You're solving layout problems. You're solving information problems. And people will not see the value of what you're doing till you start to put value on it. Till you start to see the value in what you do as well. So if you don't value your work, you are simply giving people not only the chance to devalue your work, but to devalue the work of the entire industry. So if you are always charging 5k for logos, you are simply setting it as a standard. A lot of people will start thinking that is what logos should cost. And you start to make people who are charging way more than that feel like they're scams. Or you make people start to perceive us as scams. Why? Because somebody with bad work, or someone with devalued work, has set devalued work as a standard. All right. So please, there is no exact price. There is no this is exactly what you should charge. But always do well to to increase the value that you give, increase the value of the solution you provide, and in doing that, you would not only grow as a business person, but you will add more value to even our community and to our field of work. People will start to perceive us as actual problem solvers. People will stop saying, oh, is it not just design? People will stop thinking designers are people that are at Shomolu on that bridge or something. People start to see the work that we do and will start to value it. And I hope that you guys have learned at least one or two things from this class. I will take questions now. I don't know if Bethel wants to say something.
Okay, yeah, I quickly want to say something before we take questions. Um, okay, I love this class so much, and I must say, Fiyin, they teach, sha. 'Cause I really love that you mentioned that there is no standard price. Yeah, I've had conversations with a lot of designers who tell me or who mentions that, oh, for a beginner UI UX designer, they want to create. I'm going to shake a lot of tables here. They want to create a standard where a beginner should not charge less than 150K or should not charge less than 200K. But you, as the beginner designer, you know in your heart that your worth is not up to 150K or it's not up to 200K. But because you want to follow some standard that some design trailblazer has made, you now tend to push useful clients away. Yeah, be careful not to do that. Understand your value, know your worth, and charge based on your worth. And like Fiyin said, grow in value, grow in your worth. So no matter where you start from, I had a conversation with one of the design trailblazers yesterday, and he was telling me of how he used to charge 30K. Like his first job was 30K, and now I'm sure that guy is making millions. So like, but we can obviously see the progression in his growth, the progression in his value, the progression in his worth. Yeah, so it's not about remaining where you are, it's about growing in your worth and being truthful with yourself in that process. My pastor mentioned something to me hours before this call. Build structures, don't get carried away. Build systems, rather, don't get carried away by the activities. So because you're getting a lot of jobs, you just tend to stay where you are. No, build a structure, build a system that allows you grow in your business, grow in your personal life, grow. Build structures that help you grow, build systems that help you grow. And as growth comes, there's increase in value and there's increase in worth. So I tell people that the outcome of value is money. So when you give good value, you have good money. Do you get? But when you give bad value, you have bad money. So if you give good value, you'll be charged well. Yeah, I'm. This conversation was really made for me. Like this class was really made for me because even me self, I did charge bad price because I have plenty empathy up and down. So get clients that resonate well with the design process, that understand the usefulness of design. I think it was Crystal that was saying that if you want to get high, if you want to have high price, if you want to have lots of money, then get to high paying clients. Do you get? So if you want a high pay, get to high paying clients. Do you get? But if you know you're just there to put in value, get to value based clients. Do you get? So like, know your niche. That is why even as UI designers, personal brand identity is very important, because from this brand identity you can identify your niche, the people you want to reach out to. So investing in your personal brand is not a crime because, oh yeah, because you're a user interface designer now you can design one or two logos for yourself. Nah, that's not their job. They create an entire brand for you. So investing in that is not like a waste of money. Do you guys understand? So invest, grow, and know your worth. And this class is going to be on YouTube, so like we can always go back and watch it again and again, and digest all the gems that Fiyin has given us. Yeah, Precious, that's very, very accurate. So Fiyin, you can go. Please, if you have questions, you could either drop them in the comment section or you could just like unmute yourself and ask your question.
I think we had a couple of questions in the comment section.
Okay.
Like during the class. So let's see if we can get through to them. Okay, so I'm scrolling to the top.
Okay, so Precious asks, in doing brand identity design, is it best to stick with a particular sector, say music, tech? Okay, one step from the beginning.
From the top, so that
okay,
I've seen the first one.
Okay.
Precious asks, can you outsourcing a part of the project? Or can you outsource a part of the project that isn't within your skill set? So I think I mentioned. Okay, let me stop presenting for a minute. Yeah, I think I had mentioned that towards the end of the class, where I was like, if um, part of the things you want to do, and it's not compulsory. Nobody's telling you that you have to outsource parts of a project that you can't handle. There are some parts of a project that you should definitely just say no to, especially when you've not built administrative skills to say, I can handle design and at the same time handle outsourcing things. That's because you're going to need to creatively direct, that's start doing the work of a creative director, and at the same time also be giving feedback and all that. And also, except you've built those skills and figured out also things like how much you pay someone you're outsourcing to, um, I would normally not recommend it. I'll say not to, but if you can, go ahead, especially if eventually you are planning to pivot from being a freelancer into becoming a freelance agency or something like that. I mean, an agency, you can go ahead and do that. But generally, as long as you just know how to handle it, you can go ahead and outsource. When a client is demanding, okay, Augusta Egesi asks, when a client is demanding for the development of a project that is not feasible, how do you convince clients with alternative solutions to the problem he intends solving?
This question.
I think so. Let me try. Augusta, if you can hear me, I'm going to try and rephrase your question, and you let me know if that's right. So you're simply asking that, what if the client is the client's requirements for the project or the deliverables are stuff that are not feasible, that is outside the scope of what you do? Can you convince the client with a different solution to the problem that he wants to solve? So maybe a client comes to me now, they say they want to do brand identity design and they need logo animation done. And then when I not diagnose and I find out that what they really need is not actually a new brand, what they just need is a new website or a new brand communications guy. So can I offer that as a solution to them? Is that the question you're asking, Augusta, or do you want to unmute yourself and ask the question again? Hi, Augusta.
I'm not sure if she's here.
Okay.
Okay, I think what she's trying to say is, there's some clients that have quite outrageous projects. Like they want to. Pastor just told me something about a client he had of how the person wanted to create a Facebook and a LinkedIn for business owners. Yeah, so and his goal for the business was to be bigger than Google. And you get, so clients like that, how do you tell them that, bro, this your idea, make
right, so I think the answer to that question here is pretty straightforward. And if we go back to the beginning of all I said at the class, I said you are first a problem solver. And so you diagnose problems. Remember the example we spoke about, eggs and chicken and all that. So you try to find an end goal with your client. And this is probably a whole different topic on its own. It's different from the business of design. This has to do with actual design process and all. But let me touch a little bit on it. When you get a client, when you onboard a client, you first of all figure out what problem are you trying to solve. Some clients will come with a problem or with an end goal that it can't work. Imagine a client comes to me and says, oh, they need branding. Oh, what are you trying to do? Say, oh, we want to make something that is like Nike, but for dogs that have cancer.
Wow.
I'm like, how do we solve the problem? The problem you are trying to solve is the actual problem. Like, you get the problem that this is a problem is the problem. And so for clients like that, you have two options. You either try to, like she said, convince them that this is outrageous, and because you are the design expert, you can also tailor down or cut down their expectations and give them a new refined end goal, or what's that called? Or if the client is stubborn, eventually, you should just leave them alone, because there are some clients that you try to take on and you're just like, you know what, let me just do this for the money. Is a very dangerous mindset, because you will eventually lose more. You will
Yeah.
gain money, but you lose a lot. You
Yeah.
will lose a lot. So you should probably just offload such clients. I remember last year, or it was last year COVID hit. I was partnering with these guys at PISA, very design agency that I used to partner with before. We worked on this design for brand identity for a company. So this was what their initial goal was. Their initial goal was, oh, we want to create an app that schedules um, when you come and eat, because that basically you schedule. I'd be like, oh, I'm coming to come and eat now, because they were basically trying to do this um, COVID stuff. They were not like, oh, you have an app in your house, so you just schedule, oh, this is the time I'm coming. They will not keep your space for you, and because of that, everybody, like, that's how the restaurants wanted to, that's how restaurants will operate. So they were trying to create a platform like that. But eventually, when we started working around, even beyond the brand identity, when we started thinking about the app and its goals and all that, we saw that, Oga, this thing may not be feasible, because it had so many ambiguous parts, a lot of, and so we helped them tailor down what they were thinking of, and we said, instead of doing that, why not do this? Why not do this? Why not do this? Why not do this? I can't say what we told them to do, because they've not launched yet, and I can't tell you their name or anything. So we told them, and we eventually came up with not only the brand identity, the full system for them. Their custom icons, their custom this. We came up, no, okay, no, it wasn't them we did custom icons for. Basically, we came up with everything, the comms, yeah, the comms for them. That's the brand communications, the brand identity, the app, everything for them, and it came out very well. I don't think they've launched yet, but it came out very well. So it's just important that you should diagnose first with your client, and if eventually you realize that this client is outrageous, my brother, my sister, Jack, man,
Yeah, I think another thing also is there are some clients that don't know how to communicate their idea, but it's actually a problem. Do you get, like, they actually want to solve an actual problem, but the way they are communicating it is not, they're not communicating it in the best way. So that's why I think for me, I oftentimes try to reason with my clients, and that is why it's good to have Sheon Badejo put something online yesterday about client onboarding process. In the client onboarding process, you get to ask certain questions, that help give better clarity to the problem they are trying to solve. Through those questions, you actually begin to realize if the problem is actually an actual problem, yeah, or it's just cruise. Do you get? So when you see that it's cruise, sincerely, they are, just leave, and do it in a very polite manner. Also, don't be rude. Don't just push them away. I try to tell people not to push clients away, because recommendation in design is a big deal. Yeah, you worked for somebody, the person recommended you to another person. That is a very great way to get clients and increase your clientele. So I tend to have close relationship with my clients because of recommendation. So be polite when you're telling the person that, okay, this idea no make. Do you get? Communicate well, and don't just like be rude and just say don't just be rude, basically. So yeah, next question.
Yeah, so I was saying, I think it still boils back to when I spoke about, there are the ethics of being a design business person as well. There's how to talk to clients. There's how to handle client rejections, how to even onboard clients. All these things are still, they are individual topics in the broader sense of things, but maybe some other time when another boot camp comes, if they say I should come, I'll come, I'll talk about it. If they say I should not talk, I'll not talk. All right, so let me keep scrolling down the questions. I think the next one is, okay. Better, I think that's the next question now. In doing brand identity design, is it best to stick to a particular sector, say music, tech, or Greek, or it doesn't matter? So this question, let me answer a general question instead of answering this particular one. The question is it good or is it bad to niche as a designer? A niche is basically like a category or a funnel, or basically these are the people I work with, these are the services I offer. So this is how I like to niche. I always like to niche based on service and based on client capacity. I don't like to niche based on industry. People can do that. That's, oh, I'm a brand identity designer only for music space, only for tech space, only for agri space. You can't do that. That's you. If you don't have clients in 2 years, it's up to you. God is your strength, right? The reason why I don't always advise it is that it is it limits you and where you can reach. So you can decide to set goals and say, oh, for this year, I want to work with clients in the music industry and in the tech industry. Just like what I said, I wanted to work with clients in food and in tech, and I eventually got to work with them. So you can do that. You can decide not to make it a niche, but to set it as a goal. But when it comes to niching and saying, oh, these are who I work with, I always recommend niche by service and niche by clients. By service is that, oh, I'm niching that I will only offer brand identity design, packaging design, and this kind of design. You can even decide, oh, I will add logo animation. These are the only services I offer. I will not offer this, or I will not publicly offer these things. So I know people who, what they publicly put out is, oh, I do brand identity design and logo animation. When clients come to them internally, they now say, oh, in doing these things, do you also need a website? And so they know they offer UI design. But this, like I said, this one is even a very huge topic on its own. Internal niching and external niching. I mean, no, not internal. I forgot what it's called. Internally and externally. That is how it's they say it. So externally is what do you put out to potential clients. Internally is what do you now offer when you've gotten those clients, and also it could just be a way of upselling and all that. But basically, to answer the question of in brand design, is it best to stick to a particular sector? I personally will say no, it's not the best thing to do. But you can niche based on client size. That's so I don't work with SMEs. I don't work with small or startup businesses. I only work with clients in the middle class range and the billions and millions and billions and millions and billions. So I hope that answers that question.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
that size thing is very important. It also helps to streamline the type of clients you want. Yeah. So like for instance, last year rather, I told myself I was not going to do any. No, this year I told myself I was not going to do any free work. I mean, I was not going to work for my friends. So if you're
Yes,
my
sir.
friend and
Yes.
you come and
Tell
tell me,
them.
please do this for me, I might not want to do it. Do you get?
I will do it. You know, I will do it.
So things like that streamline the type of clients, and it helps you it helps you focus for the year or for like that period of time. You're not researching unnecessarily, or you're not putting unrequired energy into certain things. Do you get? So it's very important to niche in that aspect also. The next question says, is there a time when a project didn't go exactly as planned, and how did you fix it? This is an interview question.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Let me give you guys a gist. So you guys got that 250K clients. So something actually went wrong. Something went wrong somewhere. And let me tell you where things went wrong. Remember I told you guys that I just got a contract because I was working with them. So I had evolved my process in doing that. But the problem was I did not read and understand the contract as well as I should have. So I did not I did not properly outline that I have rights to the work and that I can share the work. I didn't properly outline that. Turns out these guys, they read the contract word for word, and according to them, I didn't have the rights to share the work because it wasn't in the contract. So I posted, after like 2 months, I posted the work on my social media now. I posted just one logo, sneak peek. Next thing I got was a message from them. Why would you do this? you are in breach of contract. Yeah. I was like, Jesus. And they're a big company. So I was like, Jesus, save me now, Lord. Because I was scared. I was sincerely scared that I was probably going to get in trouble for breaching contracts and all this. And so I had to take the work down, send a mail appealing to let me put it up. And they still said no. And things didn't go fine. So that for about 2 years now, I did this work in 2019, this 2021. I've still not posted the work. But I think it was late last year. They now sent me a message, and I sent them a message after they had unveiled the brands. I was like, oh, remember this is it. So they've given me permission now to share the work. But I'm just showing you that a lot of times when projects don't go well, yeah, the best thing to do is to not be rebellious. That's, you want to do strong head against your clients. Listen, your reputation as an expert needs to stay. And so don't go out cursing your clients. Don't go out shouting at them. Don't go out dragging them on Twitter just because project no well. That's why I said there are ethics to these things. So a lot of times you just have to respect the client and tell them, or okay, let me give three scenarios. There's a problem where there's an issue where the project isn't going well because of you. There's a scenario where the project isn't going well because of the client, and then there's a scenario where the project isn't going well because of miscellaneous. If the problem is from you, admit that you are at fault and offer solutions, or even possible, offer incentives as well. So, I accidentally did something. I accidentally did something to the client's work, or maybe the client expected me to send. Maybe I sent a logo. I did a logo for the client, and in the final files, I accidentally misspelled their name, and then they now find out maybe after like 2 weeks of usage. The problem came from me. It's not for me to say, the project has finished. Hey, let it go now. No, I apologize. I admit I'm at fault. I offer solutions, and if possible, offer incentives as well. So when I send them the refined logo and all, I'm sorry. Would you like for me to do maybe 2 weeks of social media communications for you, or to do this free of charge for you? I would love to. Just there's ethics of business. Be a sensible person. The second thing is, if the problem is from the client, there are two ways to approach it. You either help the client see that they're at fault and offer solution, or you drop the client.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are clients that their mistake is sincere and genuine. So I recently worked with a client who we were doing I was doing a social media campaign for them, and we already had the strategy down. We already had everything down. These are the posts. This is when you post. This is it. Next thing, the client started posting things that were not part of the strategy on their page, and I was like, you shouldn't do this. So I sent them a message and I told them, you shouldn't do this. And then they were asking, why? And I started telling them, in doing this, one, you are ruining the aesthetics of the page. Two, Instagram's algorithm, I tailored the strategy so it will work around Instagram's algorithm. You have posted and you have in some way messed up the algorithm, and the only way we can fix it back is for us to take a post break, and now you are delaying your campaign and all that. The client now apologized. We are sorry, we did not realize this. This. They asked, should we delete it? I said, no, leave it, just leave it. We would work with this new timeline and all that. And in doing that, I helped the client to see that they were wrong. They admitted they were wrong, and we found a solution, right? In some other cases, if the client had come and done strong head, why will you tell us what to post? Why this? I will know when to respectfully. I'll know when to respectfully drop the client. And I'll send them a mail or an email, and it will be in the contract as well from beginning that, you know what, in cases of disagreements or in cases of this disease, designer, I have the right to terminate projects at this point. And so I will pull it up, send them, in this section of the contract, it says that this, and I currently feel like you are in breach of the contract, or you have triggered this part of the contract. And so starting from here, we are no longer working together. Thank you very much. I really hope for more. Yeah?
You go be. Thank you very much.
You even try to be nice. You now even tell them, I hope for better working relationship in future. So you have used how to shade the client small. You just drop it small. Say, I look forward to better working relationships and conditions with clients and all that. So it's just knowing when to drop the client and knowing when to just help them see that they're wrong. And the final one is, if the problem in the project comes from miscellaneous, then you should know in that time they wisely address the issue based on the condition, based on what it is. So maybe um, um, during the project now, like I worked on the project during the NSARS period. Something we're working on the project. The client was supposed to give me feedback. Then NSARS came up, and so neither of us were emotionally or mentally in the right place to work on the project. The client didn't say anything to me. Me, I was even still trying to say, oh, I will just work on it regardless. But the client just ghosted for a period of time. And naturally, I could have said, oh, client, you've not gotten back to me. This is the end of the project. But I understood that, oh, it was the entire period. I know. And so I just sent a message to check up on the client earlier, and I was like, hope you're good. This. We still have a project going on. Let me know whenever you're ready if we need to adjust the timeline, because the client had really eaten into the timeline. And so the client sent me a message and said, oh, she's really sorry. She lost someone during the entire period and it has been tough for her. So imagine if I had terminated the contract during the entire period. I would cause double wahala. She will drag me. She will drag me. She will drag my business. And people will not patronize me again. All right. So you should know how to address each project on that project basis, know how to wisely address whatever issues come up, and always be solution minded. Clients, designers, don't look for fights, don't look for stories that you'll be able to tell on your TL. You say, one day we'll talk about clients that do this. Don't be. You can have a design business that is free of controversy and issues. Do you know? It's very possible. Very possible. All right. So I believe that answers that question.
Yeah, also to add, don't go around chasing clouds on Twitter. So because you had a little controversy with your clients, then the whole world should know. It's not necessary. We're not saying that there will not be disputes with your clients. There will, but like there are also very meaningful ways to handle those disputes. Yeah, don't go about damaging your image and the client's image. Necessary. It's not necessary. So, about the NDA also, I wanted to quickly mention that you are not too young to have an NDA. Like your brand or your business is not too young to have an NDA. You're not too young to have a lawyer. Yeah, at a point I had to get a lawyer that was going to work with me to read my NDAs, my contracts, and everything. So no one is too small in the design industry to say I want to get a certified NDA for my brand or a certified contract for my brand that will meet up to your terms. I think it was on Twitter where I saw a portfolio clause. So like there are clauses that you can add to your NDA or your contract that allows you to allow the client put their work in your portfolio. Do you get? So things like that can only be done through NDAs and contracts, oftentimes not through verbal communication. So
Yeah.
work towards getting an NDA and work towards getting your brand's contract. So Precious also asked, are referrals still possible from a client that works with an NDA? Yes, before Fiyin answers that, yes, that's very possible because I have clients that I've not put their work in my portfolio, but they referred me based on my relationship with them while working with them. Do you get? So like
Yeah.
because the relationship was so good, they felt, oh my god, we should tell everybody about you. Do you get? And I have people that call clients that still call me superstar. Do you get? Because even if the work, there's some clients that never finish the work till the end. Yeah, but they will still refer me because the relationship was that good. So things like that. So Finn, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that is the that's a very profound answer to it. Yes, it's still possible, and sometimes it may not. It will be a lot of times it will be a combination or accumulation of both the working relationship and the quality of the work you do for them. Like your work can be that good that even if they don't tell the world
Mm-hmm.
that, oh, this is the person that did it, they will tell people that matter
Yeah.
that, oh, this is the person that did, and those people will come looking for you. So yeah, it's still very possible.
Mm.
Thank
Okay.
you for that answer, Bethel. Very
Mm.
profound.
Okay, so Udwak Gabriel says, what of a situation where the client refuses to pay you for your services after the completion of the project? Like 70% upfront but refuses to pay the remaining 30. What do you do?
Okay, so um, this is part of why I said it is good to grow your business and to also not only grow your business but to also secure your business, right? Contracts help to do that. So this is what you do in your contract. Your contract should state that you are not delivering any final file to your client until final payment is made. That's how it always is
Yes.
for me. So I worked with a client. See, I have stories for you guys. Sha. I worked with a client this year who um, all I did was a logo for them. I think I told my pastor about it. Um, they paid half of the money at the beginning of the project. Now, because the clients they actually paid very well for the project. Let me speak freely for the fee. So they paid 250K for just a logo, and I was like, that's pretty decent, right? So they paid 150, 125 at the beginning of the project, 125K. And when they sent me that 125K, the project was looking like it was easy and all that. So I already sent the contract to the guy and everything. When they sent the first 125K, I sprayed the money. I didn't spend it lavishly. I just put it here, put it here, put it here. Again, the money was like another 125 is coming, right? Lo and behold, those sisters and brothers, this guy this guy ghosted me at the end of the project. But I hadn't delivered any final file to him. I just told him, oh, I'm waiting for the final payment, then I'll send you the the final. And the guy told me, oh, he just traveled, like he was in between flights, something to Atlanta, and he said, oh, he will send it once he lands. I was like, okay. 2 days, this guy ghosted me. He didn't say a word. I texted him 2 days after. I said this. He didn't say anything. Well, I was pretty okay with it because, I hadn't sent him the final files. He wasn't using my logo. Because if he uses it, the fact that I have a contract means I have the right to sue him or I can take legal actions. And trust me, I will get a lawyer and I will sue you. Whether you're in Toronto, Canada, or Ibadan, we will sue you. So that's the best way to foolproof your contract, or the best way is to foolproof your contract. Ensure that your contract secures both you, your work, and your business. Do not allow, just like you said, if the client pays you 70% upfront, yeah, make sure it states in the contract that before you can deliver any final file, anything to him. In fact, if you've sent him files before, there are platforms where you can upload files to
Yeah,
that
and
these guys will be
disappears.
able to download
Mm-hmm.
or they will just be able to preview.
Mm-hmm.
So put your stuff on these things, yeah. And once you have concluded on it, like, oh, this is the final thing, and then you have exported all the previous screenshots or whatever you've sent, or just say, delete those. Let the only proof of work be the final files with you, and let your contract now state that your clients cannot have those final files till they pay you the final balance. And if they decide to ghost, hey, you got 70% of your money, you're fine. Okay, the 30% is a confirmation. That's why personally, this is what I like to do now. This is what I like to do now, or what I've picked up. I like to what I normally would charge. That's in increasing my price, and this is a secret, right? What I will normally charge is what I will call the 70%. So
Yes.
if you want a logo and the logo is, let's say, 300K, I will call 300K as the 70%. That 30%, I'll not take 30% of what's it called, of the 300%, and that's going to be like how much? Uh, that's like, is it 10K? I think it's like 10K, or yeah, 10,000 naira. So I will charge you in total 310,000 naira. When you pay me the 70% upfront, that 300K, I'm settled that I've gotten the
What you
full
want?
money. Whatever 10K you're sending me after, I'll probably just trade somewhere, maybe money for data or anything. So yeah, I'm not saying you should adopt this technical. I'm not saying you should adopt it. I only adopted it because of the strong thing that I faced. And I'm also in a position where I can increase my price based on the value that I offer. I mean, I'm a senior designer at Check DC.
Sorry
Come on.
now.
I can't be charging, you can't be, right?
we
So
apologize.
I'm in that place where I can do that. Okay, it's 90K. Thank you very much. I know Shegun, because my so right. I do that, and that's what I charge, right? And you know, long and short of everything is let your contract secure you. Let your contract secure you, your work, and your business. I
Yeah.
guess that answers the question. But do you want to add one or two things?
Um. Yeah, for that, I've also had scenarios like that where the client pays up, but like what he said, oftentimes my 70% is the actual price I would usually charge. Yeah, and the 30% is for the miscellaneous. I don't have gen in my house, but in my contract I put that I need to buy fuel. So things like that is oftentimes in the 30K. Things like data and all. But like to also avoid that, there are tools where you can upload your designs. If you're a UI designer, Figma, okay, sharing your Figma prototype link for me is always very shaky because there are um, developers that all they need to do is just look at the design and they can code it. So sharing your access link is always very tricky. Yeah, but there are platforms where you can like this place WeTransfer. Yeah, WeTransfer is a very good platform where you can upload your work and set a time at which the work will disappear. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
putting doing using tools like that, will help you big time. So upload your designs, let them make comments on the WeTransfer file, take the comments, and after a day or two, it disappears and they never see it again. If they take screenshots, your contract is there to bind you. Have screenshots of your chats, you know, things like that. But
Yeah.
I pray it never happens to any one of us in Jesus' name.
Yeah, man.
Because the thing they pain. So, Charles says, so sometimes clients ask if you have done something similar. How do you convince them that you can deliver even if it's your first time at such projects? I had this similar scenario about this recently, but let's allow Fee answer first.
No, I think you can go first. Let's hear a scenario.
Okay, so I was supposed to work on like a fintech platform, and I don't like fintech because I feel all of them are really just deceiving themselves and they are not solving the actual problem. That's just me though. So I don't really like working on fintech projects. So the person asked me if I've ever worked on a fintech project, and I said no, I haven't worked on fintech. And he asked me why, and I told him my reason. But he still wanted to hire me, but he could not hire me with his full chest because of I've never done anything relating to fintech. But now I still worked on the project, but this is how I did it. I made him understand that it's something that I want to try out, or it's something that I'll be interested in trying out. So one, I was able to convince him that no matter if I've done it before or not, the work I've already done previously can stand to show that okay, if she works on a fintech project, she will kill it. Do you
Yeah.
get? So my previous work was able to create like a 50% guide or guide for him to me that okay, if she has worked on all these other platforms before, she'll probably do well in fintech. That was one. Two, my knowledge. I was able to say things about fintech apps that I have used before that wowed him. So my knowledge was not just restricted to edutech or was not just restricted to agrotech. Yeah, I was able to say, oh, with Piggyvest, I love this. I don't like this. With Carry Wires, I love this, and I don't love this. So with that knowledge, it was able to give him another 30% on top of the 50%. That okay, she actually knows a lot. She has knowledge about this aspect. So me banking on her would actually be a great assurance that okay, that 20% is just going to be a risk. You get, but that 80% was good enough for him to hire me. So two things: your previous works can actually stand for you, yeah, and knowledge of that area can actually stand for you also. But Finn, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what I was about to say.
Mm-hmm.
The two things that will work most for you, simple, your previous work and your expertise. So Chris Do likes to say it this way: people have a a a way of, and this is me paraphrasing. People have a way of associating excellence with people. So in the sense
Yeah.
that naturally you think if this person is good in this person will be good in the other.
Yeah.
Naturally, so if let me go back to the frying egg example I used at the beginning. If Bethel fries egg very well, somewhere in my mind I would think Bethel is a good cook. And
Mm-hmm.
so if it comes to jollof rice, if she says she wants to cook jollof rice, somewhere in my mind I would trust her enough to
Mm-hmm.
say she will cook jollof rice because she have tasted good egg that she has made. Also, there's how you speak about the subject matter, even if it's not directly on that thing, but there's how you speak and how you address something that people can tell that you're an expert in
Yeah.
that field, and so they can trust your hand with different things. So, first time I worked with when I worked with the music distribution service company. It was the first time I was working with any company in that space. But the fact that they had seen my work and when we had the onboarding call, that's the brand discovery call, they saw I know my onions, my research process, my research and documentation was something that I could apply across board while still giving them a solution that is tailored particularly for their own
Mm-hmm.
brand. Remember I told you when I started that um, you can't apply the same solution to everybody,
Yeah.
but you can apply the same solution mindedness to everybody. And so, in seeing that your clients can, regardless of whether you've done it before, they can see that you are someone they can leave their work in the hands of. But this one now is just a personal recommendation. It's always because Nigerians can be crazy sometimes. It's always best for you to to um to build some sort of portfolio,
Yes.
even if it's just for personal work.
Yeah.
All right. And so there are platforms that provide you with things like that. There's the logo march challenge, there's daily UI challenge, there's the daily this challenge. Just use these things to build up your skill and to also have some work in your portfolio. Then come up with practice projects in your head. Oh, today I'm just going to make a layout for a cooking app, right? Do it well. Apply all the knowledge you would normally apply if it was a client project. In fact, you can even take it further and try. I like to advise designers to do these things. Try your very best to make your personal project as clienty as possible.
Yes.
A lot of people saw the work that Bethel and I worked on for you, their church, and they were like, "I want to go to this church." Like I literally can't tell you how many people said, "I want to go to this church." We had someone who was even thinking about changing the name of his church and adapting the brand for his church because of that. And you won't believe it was just a practice project, right? So do well enough to do that. Apply as much knowledge as you have in your practice work. Put it in your portfolio, and eventually one or two people will see that, and that will stand as some form of proof for your work and your expertise. All right. So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess that answers that question.
Yeah. Yeah. Building a portfolio cannot be worse. I think towards the end of this class, we'll actually talk extensively about building your portfolio and how, for me, I gave my mentees like practice projects. Like we have practice case studies online that are not real projects, but like they're just case studies that you could practice with all over the internet. Pick one of those case studies and work on them. Build a full case study. Put it on Behance, put it on Dribble, put your work out there. Like I've always said, you know, take other ugly sites that you think are ugly, or you think there are sites that you think that you can do something better with. Take those sites and redesign it, pitch it to these companies. And that's how I even got like a semi gig with Domino's, because I saw them that their app is ugly, and I did not just say it, I actually gave them a solution, and I redesigned something for them. Do you get? So things like that you could, that way. And I think one thing I'm trying to do this year is work across all sectors. So like I want to work in education, I want to work with agriculture, I want to work with fintech, I want to work with security, I want to work with cyber security. Okay, so I have something to say, or I have impact in every area. Then from there I can now streamline. So from last year to this year, I know that I really love edutech. Do you get? So most of my work is always based on edutech. Do you get? So try to have work across board, then now find somewhere you want to streamline or specialize in. So Abimbola asked, okay, Abimbola, I mentioned that sharing your Figma links with clients is not oftentimes the safest because they can steal your designs, especially when like the contract is not done. But like there are platforms like WeTransfer where you can upload your files on, then after a few days it expires. You get, so like the client does not have access to it anymore after a few days. So yeah. So any more questions before we close for today? We're already like 5 minutes in. Okay. Okay, okay. In the absence of no other questions, I would like to say a very big thank you to Fiyin. Fiyin is an amazing friend and he has been there with me since the beginning when I started UI design. So we're going to be working on a couple of projects this year. Hopefully he has not forgotten. But
I
like
haven't told.
watch out for the projects we're going to be working on this year. And again, I love you guys so much. Thank you for taking out the time to be here. The courses are still going to be up on YouTube. Yeah, so yeah, don't worry. The slides will be given to us after.
Just give me one. I'm going to need to go and fix up all the typos in my
No
slides.
problem.
So I'll probably send it. I'll send it to better later this night, chap.
No problem.
But
Great.
I'll wait some time for this first.
Yeah, like I always mention, like the slides, every lecturer slide will be given as a package after the boot camp. Yeah. So, we might have assignments. So assignments like how to work on your assignments for you guys to work on your actual NDs. You know. So we'll give you exactly like there are resources in the slides also. So where we share the slides, you could also watch those resources. So this class is going to be up on YouTube later this evening. So you could go back and watch it, send it to your friends also. And as usual, you can go on Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp and share what you have learned with the hashtag Design Bootcamp 2021. Thank you guys so much for today. I love you all. See you guys on Monday. Bye.
All right.